Hello and welcome again. This is EmblemHealth Care for the Family Caregiver video series. I'm Greg Johnson, the creator and director of EmblemHealth's Care for the Family Caregiver program. And it's been my privilege to have this series of conversations with you, my fellow caregivers. We've so far looked at an overview of caregiving. We talked about what is family and what is caregiving. Those were our first 3 sessions. And then in these 3 segments that we're doing, we've talked about who you are, who I am, and who the person we're caring for is. Each of us is a child of the divine. You can define that in any way you want. We're not here to talk about nouns. We're here to talk about family caregiving. But we are all children of the universe, of the divine, children of God. And we are physical, emotional, and spiritual human beings. And quite frankly, part of the journey of family caregiving often informs, enhances, calls into question, and gives us the opportunity for growth as spiritual human beings. I am not talking about religion, and I say that up front. Spirituality is the essence of things that make you tick, live, have your moving, have your being, have your essence. It's the essence of you, and it may indeed include religion. As a minister, I hope it does. But if it doesn't, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about spirituality, the essence of you, the divinity that is within you, however you may choose to define that, whether in a theological sense or in the most secular sense. When we stand and look from a spiritual point of view, and that's what we're having. Why? It's a very simple reason. Family caregiving forces us to ask the big questions. Now, not all of family caregiving involves terminal illness, but a great deal of it does. A great deal of it deals with the fear of it. Someone has had a major medical condition. We don't know what the outcome is. And if you're like most people, your mind immediately goes to planning the funeral. I have never seen that to fail. One of the reasons is we don't talk about things of this nature in America. Family caregiving forces us to discuss the finitude of life. And often, in looking at the finitude of life, we find its great value, its great blessing, not in quantity, but in quality. So as part of your journey, I'd like to suggest that you don't turn away from these bigger questions, because they're there and they're real. Sometimes they're very practical. They're going to challenge thoughts you had and beliefs you had. Nothing wrong with challenges. And there are people to help you, as we talked about in our last group. There are spiritual directors, there are clergy, there are support groups, there are therapists, all who can help you along the journey. One of the most interesting things that often happens in family caregiving is we start realizing that just perhaps, and I offer it to you only as a thought, we are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. No, we, all of us, are spiritual beings, having come from and returning to, and you can spend the rest of your life putting nouns to that and defining it. That's called theology. Go for it. Get confused. Ask questions, that's good. You'll grow. But we are spiritual beings having come from and returning, and at the moment we're locked in time and space. That makes a difference as to how we look at things. Because what does it tell us? It tells us who we are. All of us are brothers and sisters of that wonderful race called the human race. We are brothers and sisters, children of the divine, children of the universe. And that also tells us whose we are. And when we know whose we are, we know what our calling is. And it's what you're doing. A life of love and service. That's what family caregivers do. That's the spirituality of the family caregiver, the essence of the family caregiver. Persons devoted to lives of love and service. But in giving that, I beg of you, I pray that you will give yourself the same love and service that you're giving to your loved one. And we need to remember that we are family caregivers, not family cure givers. Curing is not in our purview. Caring is. There's a wonderful organization here in New York. It was begun by Cynthia O'Neill and the world-renowned Mike Nichols. It's called Friends Indeed. Friends Indeed was started 20-some years ago in response to the AIDS crisis. It was Cynthia O'Neill who went to Mike Nichols, said, I feel there is a great need. And today, Friends Indeed is one of the greatest treasures in the world. I urge you to go to their website and to look up much of their information. There is a card here that I have. This is something that we produced as EmblemHealth with Friends Indeed. And it's called the six spiritual principles of caregiving. I just want to read them. 1, take care of yourself. Exactly what we've been saying. Name it. Remember that before I can care for you, I must care for myself. 2, focus on care, not cure. We don't cure, we care. Number 3, work to be in the moment. That's the only moment we have, right here and now. So often we can get caught up in the drama of what's coming and what will happen then and how will this happen. We don't need to worry. We need to plan, we need to make thoughts, but we have people we can do that with. We don't have to do it alone. At this moment, you are fine. And at this moment, your loved one. And sometimes, friends, that's what we need to do. We need to find a friend and just sit with them and take a deep breath. And how did life begin? With breath. The Spirit, the spirituality, the Spirit came into you. And it will be with you through all of life, as it will be with each of your care recipients. Express your feelings appropriately. Express your feelings appropriately. So important. No blame games here. No blame games. Seeking meaning in the experience. Those are the quiet times. When we get still. We look at what's happening. It's not about the new handbag, the new car, membership here, membership there, degrees here. No. It's about caring, sharing, loving. Love. Love. And it's also about learning to communicate at that level. I can't begin to tell you how important it is for your sake and for others. Don't talk to the disease. Think of an Alzheimer's patient. They're on another plane of living in many cases. Think of the alcoholic, bombed out of their minds, or the drug addict. That's a disease. They're not hearing your words. Don't talk to the disease, but claim the fact that you are a spiritual human being, and that you have a spirit and they have a spirit, and one spirit can speak to the other. You all know the word. Namaste. Namaste. May the love in me salute the love in you. These are important principles, and my favorite one is the sixth. Understand that nothing is going wrong. Understand that nothing is going wrong. That sounds difficult, but there is a greater plan. There is a greater good, and you're part of it. You are living that good, and you are living that love. And you will make it, because on many levels, you are not alone.